All right, thank you guys for tuning back in. For those of you new followers or those of you just following along, we appreciate it. I want to give a big shout out to everyone that donated and followed that link and that page. You guys are awesome. Hopefully, we can give you some content added into our podcast where we can show you how your funds have been used. That's truly awesome. So if you haven't, go ahead and follow that link again. You can donate, help us out. You really help the nonprofits here. Bear with us this episode. It's going to be probably a little boring for the ones that already know us, maybe boring for the ones that don't know us, but we kind of want to give an introduction of who we are, why we do what we do, and why we're qualified to talk about the things we talk about.
And along those lines, this is purely for entertainment. If you get a few nuggets of wisdom or, something that you can implement in your life, awesome. But don't sue us. We're here just trying to help people. And I think Matt's going to build a little slide for the end of our podcast to be, with a full disclaimer and all that. You can read through it. But basically, don't sue us. If you don't like us, don't watch us. If you think that we suck, okay, our parents think we suck. We're well aware. So just move on. But if not, and you enjoy it, awesome. I'm glad we can add some value to your life. But all that to say, don't sue us. We're entertainment. That we are not legal advice. And get an attorney if you need one. All right, Tony.
All right. So how do we know each other, right?
Yeah.
We've worked together, trained together, still train together. Mystal kind of led me into this training. It's where I learned all my police stuff. And then we've worked together on and off, and y'all two still work together, right?
We do.
Just going to get that out of the way. So what makes us qualified? I wouldn't say I'm an expert at anything, really. I'm pretty good at a few things. I'm above average instructor, I found out.
Yeah, you're definitely above. You're good at what you do.
So that was a weird journey. I started leadership training through ROTC at UCO. Here they have a really great training program. Fortunately, I'm not a very good student, so school wasn't kind of my thing. So I left that program and went into the military. From there, I went to infantry school, airborne school, had air assault school, went into special forces selection as a candidate there. And then I was selected and started my training in the Q course, which is the special forces qualification course. That's where I learned what a real instructor looks like. That was some solid stuff. And it's kind of interesting. Growing up, you have teachers through school, and then in college, I had teachers that were kind of mentors. And then when I got into professional training, is what I would consider it. You see how all that stuff kind of comes together, and you learn that a good instructor is not just a mentor, not just a teacher. They guide and show, and it's like problem solving. They're not just they work the problem. Sometimes when you're trying to relay information, it just bounces back. So you have to change up your technique and try to get down to their level. And that's really where I kind of learned that. And then left the military and met Mystal through training. Her training style works really well for me. It works well for a lot of people. It also does not work well for a lot of people. So, when I got into law enforcement, I got to see, great instructors and not so great instructors, people who probably should not be teaching what they're teaching, people who really don't understand what they're teaching, which is kind of weird coming from a new guy in law enforcement. Even new guys can see that kind of stuff. Fast forward a few years, I was voluntold to start training new guys myself, and
whoever did that screwed you, man.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, but it turns out I'm pretty good at it. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. What do you do now?
right now. I'm medically retired. Call it a blessing, call it a curse, but I don't know. I
You're
just
still
sit on the
using your
couch most
skills,
of the
though.
time. Yeah,
You're still using your skills.
yeah. I still have a lot of skills to pass on, so that's what I'm trying to do here.
Well, I know everybody appreciates it, and we're glad that you're continuing to train people that need to be trained and want to be trained.
Thank you.
So
Sometimes those folks are hard to find.
They
They are.
sometimes. Tell us a little bit about your family.
A family?
Yeah.
I'm married for a while.
we
Oh,
can,
man,
we can go back in and maybe voice over how long.
Yeah,
you think about it.
well, I do have brain damage, so we got married in 2012, so 12 years. Right?
Okay.
Are going on.
Well, 13.
12, 13, yeah.
Depending.
13 in
Math.
December.
I'm not good at math. 6th grade math teacher sucked. Anyway, married, and I have a little girl. She's 5. Cody. She's really cool. She's way cooler than I'll ever be. But
Yeah. All right. Tell us something unique about you, or a fun fact, or something you like to do. Something fun about you.
I used to be really fun. I used to I used to like to go streaking. Believe it or not, it was kind of fun.
Okay.
Like as an adult or a kid?
Somewhere in between.
Old enough to need to wear clothes, but young enough to not go to jail.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, on that note, I have not seen him streak, so maybe it has passed.
You guys are missing out.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think so. All right, Matt. You're up. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I kind of started out a little bit differently. As a senior in high school, I did sign to play college baseball, but I got burnt out from how much I'd been playing growing up, travel ball, school ball, everything. So I decided that I wanted to be an adult, and I enlisted in the United States Army. I shipped off to my basic training about a month after I graduated. So only a couple weeks of graduating high school, shipped off to basic training, completed that whole training, and the day I got back to my unit, which was like a day after graduation, they just got us all in formation and was like, "Congratulations, you guys are deploying." And I was like, "Okay, well, that's what I signed up for." Didn't think it would happen bang bang like this, but it did. So I did my deployment. During that deployment, I was like, well, I enjoy this. I'm adulting. What can I do to continue my career? And I started looking at police departments when I got back, and that's when I was hired on by a city agency in Kansas. Attended their academy, learned a lot of valuable training that really stuck with me and still sticks with me. What I train other people with. And from then, I transitioned to a different state agency and completely moved states from Kansas to Oklahoma. That state agency has treated me very well. It has, added more knowledge to my bucket.
Gave you the best team ever.
Gave me the best team ever, the best trainers ever. Like Tony said earlier, we did work together. He did also train me one day, and there is a story about that one. We'll go into that later. That was a good one. I don't think any of us expected to happen what happened. Let's see, what else about me? I do have a family. I'm married. I've been married for 2 years, a little over 2 years now, to my wonderful wife, Maddie. We have a child on the way. Find out here in a couple days what it's going to be, actually.
That's exciting.
So there'll be a gender reveal. So maybe I'll let you guys know what it is here later. And I guess I did do college as well. I attended the University of Oklahoma, got my bachelor's degree while I was still working. And then recently I got my master's degree. I graduate here in a couple days. So I'll have my master's of business administration.
Awesome.
Yeah,
All right, Matt.
that's me.
So, what's something unique or fun or something?
I'd say something unique, interesting is, well, growing up, I'd always help out around the house or be forced to help out around the house, and learned a lot of construction skills, painting,
Right.
building. Might be forced child labor, but you know. So I guess a unique fact about me is I can build a lot of things, woodwork. So I built my entire 30 by 30 shop, man cave, house, guest house, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, it's really nice.
on the
It
back
is.
back of my lot.
And
So
your bed's pretty nice too.
the bed frame is very
Yeah,
nice,
it's
very
over-
sturdy.
Where
Definitely.
did you know that?
Just because you had to help him move it. Definitely overbuilt.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It hasn't broke.
Dang it,
Been
man.
trying.
I walked into that one.
Yeah.
I only know what his bed frame looks like because we had to move it. That's it.
Hey, I do have a question about, you work for different agencies. What's the academy life differences?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a huge difference on academy lifestyle between a city agency and working for the state. I mean, city, you're going home every night. It's like a college environment. You're expected to be there by a certain time, but you could bring whatever drinks, snacks. I mean, you had planned, bathroom breaks during classes and stuff, but it was very knowledgeable, but it wasn't a military style. So then transitioning to the state, I mean, that was almost exactly like going through the military basic training, except I would say mentally it was a lot more challenging because in the military, you can't leave.
Right.
Like you're stuck there. Like
Yeah.
you're embracing the suck, right? Going to a civilian job, mentality wise, all you got to do is walk out that door. Nobody's forcing you to stay there.
Open invitation.
You're not on contract. You can leave. So the mental part of that was the hardest for me, anyways. Physical. I mean, they're not going to kill you. It's just going to suck.
Yeah. So, which environment do you feel like was more beneficial?
If there would be a way to mix both of them together, I think the military style is more beneficial. It builds that trust and bond between people, keeps you guys together. I don't think you should go home every night, but I don't think you should be there over the weekends. You need that time to recover and get yourself back in the mindset of, this job can take a turn for its worse at any moment.
Yeah.
But I also like that college environment where you could kind of relax a little bit and actually take in that knowledge and learn it. So I think it needs to be a little bit of both.
It's interesting.
Solid answer.
Yeah.
All right, Mystal, let's hear about you.
All right. I'm not that interesting. Well, I don't know. You guys told me I was pretty interesting.
compared to us, you're pretty interesting.
I am in law enforcement, going on 13 years. I'm married 5 years now. I only know this because I'm like, oh my gosh, 5 years.
Yeah.
Have a little boy. He's awesome. He just turned 3. He's the best thing about me, I would say. Great sense of humor and total package, I went to college at Southern Nazarene. I played softball there. I still have some of the best friends in the world from that. I have a book club, and it's been really fun. Actually, Maddie and Sarah come to book club, so it's been awesome. Like, it's not just us that are friends, like our families are friends, and that is what's truly rewarding, I think. I obviously am passionate about training. I've trained officers in my career. Mostly though, what made me passionate about it and like what makes me qualified, I don't ever truly think of myself as qualified because, I'm constantly trying to improve myself and better the profession as a whole. But I would say I just took all the things that I wish I'd had. I had some great trainers in my career, but there's only so much time that you have with with your trainee. And so I just took all the things that I wish I'd had, or the things that I really valued in my training, and all the stuff I'd messed up or stuff I wish I would have known. I just started collecting it, and the stuff that kept me up at night, I just made sure I found the answers for that, and tactics that work, that are tested and they work. And I'm passionate about it, and I'm passionate about my guys going home at night. And I just took all of that and I just try to give it to anyone who wants it, anyone who is willing to put in the work, because it is a lot of work. It's exhausting. And that is what I tell anyone who asks for my help, or anyone that I've trained. Like, I'm never going to ask anything of you that I don't do myself. And I think you two now can testify to that. Like, it's not easy. Like, training with me isn't easy. Like, I'm probably the worst if you're looking for the easy path, right? Several nights, Tony, actually, I don't even know if you ate ever. But we had too much stuff to get done, and I'm passionate about it. And I just, for me, if you're willing to put in the work, I want to pass on all the things I know. But the main thing for me is I will never, ever require something of someone I'm training or one of my guys that I don't do every single day. And with that said, like, I'm definitely quality over quantity when it comes to work, because how I train and how I work requires so much mental energy that you have to be on your game. And if you're not, you need to also be honest with yourself and know that day, hey, mentally I'm not there. So today we're going to do this, right? Like, I will get into more of that in some of the courses, I'm sure. But more than anything, I'm here because I'm passionate about what I do. And when it was hard fought for, and it hasn't always been the popular thing, because I'm very thorough, right? I don't cut corners. And you'll hear this a lot. I expect people to do the most right thing every single time. And I don't just say that. It's not just lip service. Like, that is what I do. And anyway, all that to say, the only thing that makes me qualify is I've messed up a lot, and I have found solutions to those problems, and I'm able to pass it along in a manner that I think, you guys are awesome. I think that, I tell you guys, you're not an expert at your craft until you can teach it effectively. And that's what I tell all my guys. Like, they're successful and they're proving themselves successful, and I'm so proud of them. But until you can effectively teach it to someone else that needs it, you are not an expert, right? And even then, until you are constantly improving yourself and constantly finding, predicting potential issues in the future and trying to find solutions in the meantime, like, you're never truly an expert at your craft, in my opinion. I think law enforcement changes, and I think the world changes, and if we aren't adapting to that, then it's easy to get complacent. So for me, I guess what makes me qualified is I know how to screw up, and I know how to find the answers.
Well, you've built off those mistakes, and then you have evolved, and now you're able to train others to not make those same mistakes. And that's truly what makes you qualified.
Well, thanks, Matt.
So tell us something interesting about yourself.
Well, I have a book club. I really enjoy my book club. Best ladies out there. We go out on, like, once a month. We'll go out. We'll have meetings. We'll go out, and sometimes we'll dress up. So we will dress up as a character from a book, or we throw. Honestly, Jess and I, my spouse and I, will throw a costume. Like, every party we throw is a costume party. And so I know it sounds lame, but I think as I've gotten older, like, we really like to be extra at everything we do, Like, the other day, I guess it was, last month, one of my friends, it was her birthday, we went out and did karaoke, but you had to dress up like who you're going to sing a song, so I was going to sing Lady Gaga. Jess and I did a duet, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Telephone. And so I dressed up as Lady Gaga and went out and did our karaokeing. And, I think as you get older, you just stop caring. Like, we just walk out there and everyone stares at you and you're like, whatever.
Well, you're out there to have fun. Like, who cares what people think? Right?
And you guys are making fun of me for going streaking. Shame.
At least that clothes on.
That's completely different
Yeah.
story. But
Yeah, I have clothes on and a wig, and
So you're
Uh,
just
yeah,
like,
people are wondering why you're dressing up the way you are. People are wondering if you're okay.
yeah.
yeah, I'm not okay,
Yeah, well,
and
Yeah.
that's fine.
Well, to wrap things up, that's kind of just a little bit about ourselves. So we're making this quick episode. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Stay tuned for next week. We'll have some good content for you guys.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris Vance at Vance Truck Accessories. Thanks for sponsoring us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Proud sponsor, or maybe not so proud. We appreciate the money anyway.
I don't know.
Thanks,
Thank
dude.
you very much. You did sponsor us for this one. So anyone else that wants to sponsor, we will gladly take it.
Yeah.
We don't sound desperate. We don't sound desperate or anything.
I am. All right. Guys. See you later.
See ya.